Hi, welcome to Too Late Who Cares, the video where I talk about games that already have too many videos discussing it. Whether it be a review, deep dive, or retrospective, I want to throw my hat into the ring and contribute to one of Microsoft's weirder games that they released. I'll be going over the 2014 Fable Anniversary, the definitive version of Fable, originally released in 2004 on the original Xbox. This is the first time I'm making a video like this, so if something felt odd or clunky, please let me know in the comments. That out of the way, let's get into the world of Albion. The world of Albion is an interesting setting. For one thing, they call mercenaries heroes. It's just really a title to identify those who went to the guild, demonstrated that they had powers, whether it be will, skill, or strength, graduated and took on quest cards to help out the citizens of Albion. Even though the term hero usually illustrates an individual who demonstrates the virtuous traits of helping out the needy, putting themselves at risk in order to save someone, or donating to a noble cause. There are those who do evil acts, and somehow, despite that, they hold the title of hero. Jack of Blades comes to mind. There are heroes that act evil and perform quests that bring harm to the population of Albion. This makes a guild look like it'll take on any job as long as there's gold involved and give those who commit wicked acts a platform to gain fame, or in this case, infamy. Either way, the guild provides many ways for the heroes to become known, earn gold, and grow stronger thanks to these quest cards. The foundation set, I'd like to go over the visuals of Fable Anniversary. Fable Anniversary was made using the Unreal Engine 3, which overhauled the graphics of Fable, The Lost Chapter, making it look sleeker for the modern audience. While I won't say that it's great to look at, it is an improvement from its earlier iterations. It's rendered at 1080p, runs at 60 frames per second, and overall has better visual effects. I am playing the Steam version of Fable Anniversary, just so we're clear. Personally, I'm not one to really go on graphics. As long as the gameplay and music are done correctly, I can overlook how a game looks. The environments fit what it wants to communicate. South Bowerstone is a great town. It gives all the feeling of the hustle and bustle as you see workers carrying boxes to stores, children playing at their school, and after a long day's work, people drinking away their fatigue. South Bowerstone gives off that working class feeling, while North Bowerstone feels more like a gated community. You need special permission to enter the area, and you hardly see anyone working other than that one store owner and the guards patrolling the area. Now, Darkwood gives off a different vibe. Unlike Greatwood or the Guild's Forest, it's a constantly dark environment with many hostiles ready to take out both heroes and traitors. Really, how does anything get done with these constant threats? Meanwhile, Knothole Glade gives off a very grand feeling of being deep in the forest. Lots of greenery with equally threatening creatures lurking behind every turn. All this is to say that Fable feels like an amazing story in the form of a book, with incredible attention to detail in both its environment and its characters. Wait, I haven't talked about the characters at all, have I? Well, for the most part, NPCs have a roughly similar look, with the women looking slightly more distinct from one another. There's plenty of unique looking female NPCs in the Darkwood Bordello, where you can have some fun. Otherwise, there's the Guildmaster, Scythe, Maze, Thunder, Blair Rose, and Jack of Blades. All of them look very unique. Each character has a very striking appearance in relation to what they do or contribute to the narrative. Guildmaster is constantly in communication with the hero of Oakvale, letting them know if they got new quests, informing them if their health is low, and sometimes giving guidance on certain quests. Thunder takes an imposing figure, constantly belittling the player in their interactions. And despite that, his armor is unique and takes a form of its own, unlike the armors that you can purchase, which all look similar despite the color differences. Maze gives off the feeling of a wizard. Briar Rose has a dark look, and despite her being rude and dismissive, she's actually supportive and proactive as the story moves along towards its conclusion. All this is to say that Fable has a strong hand in visual communication. All the dark and creepy environments to its bright and lively villages strongly gives off the feeling of a fairy tale. Even the murals that appear in the cutscenes makes heavy use of color visuals. Objects of importance, like characters, are colored in a lighter color, while the background is using more muted colors to further illustrate the importance of the event taking place. This reflects on the game's highlighted features, orality, which I'll now go over. The core gameplay of Fable is to take on quest cards, earn renown to take on more grand quests, and interact with the world of Albion. In Fable's case, there was only the problem of choices being black or white. Let me quickly go over the alignment in Fable. You do good things, you'll get good boy points, which alters your hair color to white, and eventually you get a halo with butterflies hovering around you. While doing bad things will reward you with evil points. Earning enough will cause you to grow horns, have red aura, and have flies buzz around you. Fable doesn't really have many situations where you don't earn either points. Killing bandits, bugs, the undead award good points. Donating to the Temple of Avo and doing quests that protect people also give good points. I've noticed that if you haven't hit the max threshold for being good, you'll always gain good points. But if you're maxed out on being good, you stop getting points. Just an observation. While on the flip side, harming innocents, killing guards, stealing, breaking property, taking evil quests, which there are few, and eating baby chicks give out evil points. How does this affect gameplay, you might wonder? Well, it affects how you interact with the NPCs of the game. It's not by much, but it's still a factor. Examples would be that if you're a good person, going to shop for items will result in a small discount, despite never having interacted with the shopkeeper. Of course, you can give them gifts and receive a higher discount, but by simply wearing light armor and having a great renown, you gain benefits. The women of Albion will throw themselves at the hero, and people will praise you and give comments on your recent actions depending on where you are with the gold quests. On the other side, being evil takes effort. You have to go out of your way to harm the people of Albion. As a result of evil actions, going into shops you'll notice that there will be a small upcharge in all items. Sneering, battle cries, and using vulgar language towards the residents will make them more fearful of the player. They will boo and shiver at your presence and even run away if you are truly scary. However, there is a benefit to this. Killing homeowners throughout Albion will result in their properties going up for sale. Purchasing said properties and then renting them out will result in a greater gold yield since there are only 5 properties to purchase by default in Fable Anniversary. That being said, there isn't much else. You can do quests, get paid in gold and renown, occasionally get a trophy to show off, and upgrade your gear if you want to. Regardless of your actions, the narrative doesn't change. Hero of Oakville will always go find his sister, participate in the Knothole Glade Arena, save his mother, and defeat Jack of Blades. Doesn't matter if you're good or evil, your actions have no effect to the story. So let's talk about the writing, as it does stand out from other adventure RPGs. Having played several adventure RPGs, I've noticed that many games have a different approach in how they want to present their narrative. Some games will give great emphasis on the importance of completing the hero's journey, games like Metal Gear Solid, BioShock, and the God of War as examples. They all have a narrative that drives the player forward into seeing the game to its end. Meanwhile, there are games that have humor in them. As in, there's still a threat to be dealt with, but the writing sprinkles in some levity to make the moments feel lighter. I would say examples of these would be Dragon Quest, Yakuza 0, or any of the Tales of games. Fable as a series has its own approach in how it presents itself, and it's rather unique in my perspective. In the beginning, as you start out, nothing is happening. You're getting talked down to by the other heroes, while everyone knows you as the Chicken Chaser. You'll have some heroic feats, but otherwise, no one is taking you, as a hero, seriously. While you're gaining renown, you'll hear or read about some of the most outlandish things. Going to a graveyard, for example, will have some of the funnier interactions. Rather than see the names of the dead and how they died, some of them will have funny things to say, like, "Get off me," or "I'm dead. Happy now?" It's a bit macabre, but it's engaging because there's humor in it. See, there's a quest that you see this old-timer, and he tells you about a daughter he has that's ready to marry, but only if said person had the same hairstyle in the picture that he gives you. You'll oblige and go through with it, only to find out that he never had a daughter, and he only did it to make you look stupid. Finding the archaeologist by solving his name riddle is funny because he assumes that his pursuers don't have the patience to figure out the demon door's name. You can donate books to the school in south of Bowerstone to help out with child literacy. It's a noble act, but then turns into hilarity when the player gives the teacher books of a more dubious nature, causing the children to react in a mocking manner. With all that said, the world of Albion, in Fable 1's presentation, is pretty small. Having the ability to warp around makes the world feel even smaller. Even if you choose to walk around everywhere, you'll notice that there's not much going on, or much to see. Some towns really have that lived-in feeling, as I described earlier. Bowerstone as a whole feels like a complete city. Oakvale is a village recovering from a bandit assault from many years ago. Knotthole Glade feels tribal and has that close-knit community going on. Hook Coast doesn't have much going on besides being a pier town and not having anything else interesting to contribute. Snowspire Village holds the oracles that gives out lore when asked. The story of Fable is straightforward. You go on a hero's journey while getting revenge on those who took your family away. It encourages you to be a hero at every turn, to do the right thing and be heroic. You help out people, and in return, you get information about your missing family members. Ultimately, you find your mother and sister and discover that you're part of a lineage that goes much deeper than the game cares to explain. From there, you go on to slay Jack of Blades, then do it again because it wasn't enough the first time. All this is great, but I do have some grievances with Fable. Fable plays well for the most part, but it has some issues. As I stated before, I'm playing the Steam version of the game, and use a controller for the entirety of the game. It's just a preference. Occasionally, the game will not read my inputs. This happened about 3 times, where I'll be in the middle of combat, and I'll stop moving and the game won't even take my button inputs. Whether this was an issue on my end or not, I'll never be sure. Targeting with magic, specifically lightning, has never really worked out for me. I'll occasionally hit someone I don't mean to, thus causing issues with will. Will in general is somewhat problematic. While the whole theme of the game is letting loose and going wild, there should be some moderation when it comes to offensive magic. Fireball, for example, gains an AoE and knockback, which knockback is also on flourish attacks, and it takes a while for the enemy to get back up. I'll expand on that soon. Ghost swords will often miss their target. While they can be targeted and be destroyed themselves, it gets a bit annoying to see your ghost swords miss while seeing that the bandits or enemies attack your swords and whiff as well. Divine Fury and Infernal Wrath are cool visually, but using them is a pain. There are faster methods to dispatch enemies by using will. Slow time helps out immensely in any situation. However, there comes a little annoying drawback. Suppose you flourish an enemy while slow time is on. Well, you have to sit there and watch them slowly fall down, recover, then slowly get back up. This of course can be avoided, but it can't be helped every now and then. Skill has some annoyances, like needing to level up Guile to obtain the ability to steal and lockpick, and those are not obtained in the early stages of leveling Guile. Melee is straightforward, nothing to it. You swing, you hit, or you get blocked so you rush behind your enemy or flourish. Fable by itself is good and all, but some of the many things such as marriage or sneaking doesn't really add to the game. It's there, but it doesn't do anything meaningful aside from one demon door, and even then, you had to marry the mayor for that specific demon door. Despite all that, I'd like to come to my conclusion. Fable was the start of a grand series, and I gotta say, the first game is still my favorite. When I think of Fable, I think of the first entry. Partly because of nostalgia, but also how well put together it was. The next two numbered games always felt off, even if they improved on some of the core mechanics of the first game. Since I'm talking about the anniversary version, I appreciate the improved visuals overall. I won't give a numerical value or something based on the score. I'll just say, if you haven't played it, play it. Or if you've already played it before and you're getting that urge, just play it again. Hey, thanks for watching. This was my first attempt at a review, and it's still all over the place. Give it a like if you enjoyed, comment below on what I could improve or what you liked about Fable. Subscribe if you want to see more gameplay or perhaps more coverage about the other Fable titles. Share it with a friend who might like this or dislike it if it was so poorly put together. I hope you guys have a great morning, day, afternoon, evening, and or night, and I'll see you guys soon with another video. Take care.